But truth was never meant to remain hidden forever. Then came the command that would change the entire course of the mission, and warned your nearest kindred. With that, the quiet years began to close. The message would now step out from private rooms into public life. And the city that had known Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the truthful one, the trustworthy one, was about to hear from him something it had never heard before. This was no longer only a call to a few loyal hearts. This was now a challenge to the beliefs, the pride, and the power structure of Mecca itself. The burden of going public. The command came in a chapter filled with the stories of the earlier prophets. Musa stood before Pharaoh. Nuh warned his people. Hud, Salih, Ibrahim, and Lut all faced resistance when they called to truth. The message was clear. Falsehood may stand proudly for a time. It may seem rooted. It may seem untouchable, but it never lasts. Truth, however resisted, remains. And now that same truth had arrived in Mecca, a city swollen with pride, surrounded by idols, and deeply attached to its inherited ways. The Kaaba, built for the worship of Allah alone, had become the center of pagan devotion. Its custodians were the leaders of Quraysh. Its idols were protected. Its traditions were defended. Its economy, prestige, and authority were all tied to that system. So when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was commanded to speak openly, he was not simply being told to preach more loudly. He was being told to confront an entire worldview. The first public warning begins at home. The Prophet began with those closest to him. He gathered his relatives from Bani Hashim and Bani al-Muttalib. Around 45 men came. These were not strangers. These were his uncles, his cousins, the people who knew his childhood, his honesty, his character, and his reputation. But closeness to a man does not always mean closeness to his message. Before the Prophet could fully present what he had come with, Abu Lahab moved first. He interrupted the gathering with cold calculation. He warned the family that this path would bring trouble. He told them that their clan could not stand against all of Arabia. He reminded them that following old tradition would be easier than confronting the other tribes. And then he said, in effect, that no man had ever brought more harm to his own people than Muhammad was about to bring. The Prophet remained silent in that moment, not because he was shaken, but because wisdom knows when to speak and when to let a moment expose itself. He called them again, and this time he stood and delivered a message no one in that gathering would ever forget. I praise Allah. I seek His help. I believe in Him. I trust in Him. And I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, with no partner. Then he spoke with the certainty of a messenger. A guide does not lie to his people. That sentence alone carried the weight of a lifetime. They knew him. They knew he had never lied. They knew his word had always been clean. He was not asking them to trust a stranger. He was asking them to trust the same man they had always trusted, now carrying a message from heaven. Then he said, I have been sent to you in particular and to all people in general. By Allah, you will die just as you sleep, and you will be raised just as you wake. Then you will be judged for what you have done. It will be either paradise forever or hell forever. There was no poetry in that warning, no performance, no attempt to impress, only truth. Abu Talib responded with affection and loyalty. He said he believed in the Prophet's sincerity. He said the family loved him and wished to support him. But even in his support, there was hesitation. He would protect him, yes, but he would not leave the religion of his forefathers. It was one of the recurring sorrows of this stage: support without belief, love without submission. Then Abu Lahab rose again, angry and alarmed. He urged Abu Talib to stop his nephew before others acted first. But Abu Talib answered with resolve. He swore that he would protect Muhammad for as long as he lived. That protection would matter more than anyone yet understood. The call on Mount As-Safa. Then came the moment when the call rose above private rooms and entered the public square. The Prophet climbed Mount As-Safa and called out loudly to Quraysh. It was the kind of call that made people stop what they were doing. Men came from different clans. Those who could not come sent others to hear what was happening. He gathered them with the urgency of a man warning people before disaster. Then he asked them a question. If I told you that horsemen were behind this valley preparing to raid you, would you believe me? Their answer came quickly. Yes, we have never known you to lie. In that moment, Mecca testified against itself. They acknowledged his truthfulness with their own tongues. So he gave them the warning. I am a warner to you before a severe punishment. It was a turning point. He was telling them that the danger was not behind the valley. The danger was ahead of them in the hereafter, and the one warning them was the very man they had always trusted. But truth often angers those who feel threatened by it. Abu Lahab erupted with contempt. He shouted, "Perish you! Is this why you gathered us?" And in response, Allah revealed words against him that would be recited forever. Then the Prophet widened the warning. He called Quraysh by name, he called specific clans by name, and he even called his own daughter Fatima. "O Fatima, daughter of Muhammad, save yourself from the fire. I cannot protect you from Allah." That statement struck at the deepest structure of Arabian society. Arabia was built on blood ties, on tribal loyalty, on family protection. But Revelation had now announced that on the Day of Judgment, no lineage would save anyone. Faith had become the foundation. Truth had become the dividing line. Quraysh understands the threat. Once the message became public, Quraysh understood what was happening. This was not just another preacher, not another poet, not another moral voice in the marketplace. This message attacked idolatry at its root. It exposed the idols as powerless. It challenged the customs that gave Quraysh their religious authority. It threatened the system that allowed them to control the sanctuary, the pilgrims, and the culture of Arabia. If Allah alone was to be obeyed, then their inherited power would weaken. If a hereafter was real, then their arrogance would be judged. If revelation was true, then their pleasures, injustices, and pride could no longer go unquestioned. They understood this better than many people imagine. That is why they reacted so violently. Their issue was not confusion. Their issue was refusal. They knew exactly what accepting Islam would cost them. It would cost them control. It would cost them status. It would cost them the freedom to live however they pleased. And many hearts do not reject truth because it is unclear. They reject it because it is clear. Pressure on Abu Talib. Unable to directly discredit the Prophet, they turned again to his uncle. They said to Abu Talib, "Your nephew insults our gods, criticizes our way of life, mocks our religion, and degrades our forefathers. Either stop him or let us deal with him." This was not casual talk. It was political pressure, social pressure, and the beginning of open confrontation. Abu Talib answered with calm diplomacy. He tried to soften the situation, but the Prophet did not stop. He continued preaching, continued reciting, and continued calling people to Allah. The message had now entered the open. There was no going back. The pilgrimage season and the Council of Quraysh. Then came another challenge. Pilgrimage season was approaching. Tribes from across Arabia would soon come to Mecca. If they heard the Quran, if they listened to Muhammad, the message could spread far beyond the city. Quraysh panicked. They needed a strategy. So they gathered and consulted al-Walid ibn al-Mughira. What should they call him? A soothsayer? No, his speech did not resemble soothsaying. A madman? No, there was no madness in him. A poet? No, the Quran was unlike poetry. At last, they settled on the label they thought would work best: magician. They would say his words were so powerful that they separated father from son, brother from brother, husband from wife. It was a lie born out of fear. Yet even in their lie, they unintentionally admitted something true. His message really was changing people at the deepest level. Abu Lahab became one of the loudest tools in this campaign. He would follow the Prophet publicly and shout behind him, trying to poison ears before truth could enter them. Still, the message continued to reach hearts, and despite all the noise, some still believed. Persecution and the first migration. Then the pressure turned darker. Persecution began to intensify. What had started as mockery and resistance became torture, isolation, and violence. It did not all explode at